You are listening to Max Pew, an actual play RPG podcast. Max Pew follows continuous storylines that are best enjoyed from the beginning. This Extra Life content was recorded in a public venue, previously aired during the Team WV Fox Marathon stream on May 4th, 2019, and may contain spoilers for its associated work. The following content may contain mature themes and adult language. Please enjoy Part 1 of The Secrets of Cats. Due to a recording error, the first 10 minutes of this session were lost. We join the session near the beginning of character introductions.
Well done.
I was protecting the twins, Jack and Jill, and experiencing both the burden and the advantages of lack of adult supervision. Jack and Jill, you see, without the adult supervision, got into the Halloween candy, and I had to spend several hours comforting them in their stomach troubles and their state. So a lot of time on the bathroom floor, curled up next to them. And this is all coming around to a point that really worked in my advantage. After that, I finally set them off to bed. I had a ball. I shredded up all of the wrappers from that candy, just really messed it up, spread it all over the house, in my vengeful state to get back at the adults who had left me in charge. And as a result of those wrappers being scattered all around the house, I was able to, as I was drifting off to sleep, hear just the gentlest scratch, 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 scratch. And my ears perked up. And so it actually allowed me to intervene. Those wrappers you see acted as a kind of alarm that alerted me to the presence of the thing that was trying to get into our house. So I was able to ward that off. And I want to take credit for that because that was my plan all along in scattering those wrappers.
I dare say all the cats here are thoroughly impressed with your forethought.
And yesterday was Halloween, right?
Yes, yesterday was Halloween. Not today. Right. Yesterday.
Okay. Well,
that's a different story.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. I was out in the woods and I saw some kind of it looked like one of those human things, but it was green and smelled awful. It smelled like death. And it was coming. Some kids were at the house there and they were begging for candy and stuff. I don't know what that. But anyway, the creature, whatever it was coming towards them. So I had to get them out of there. So I went over there and I rubbed all over their legs and stuff, purred and stuff. They were like, shoot, get out of here. And nothing I could do could get their attention. So I jumped up on the railing and sprayed both of them. They stopped running. So I saved some humans.
Have an extra fate chip.
Right.
You may have a reputation among the humans now.
The cat that will spray you.
All right. Looks like Jackie's asleep again.
Well, last night at 3 a.m., there was a ghost in the house. And I chased it from one end of the house to the other, and back, and back, and back, and back. And then, as soon as I was standing on the rail at the top of the stairs, warded it off. So I thought. Then, just as the human comes into the room, the thing knocks me off the banister. Human thinks that I just am clumsy and fell off the rail. Meanwhile, I'm defending her from ghosts.
Humans are idiots. They have no idea what's going on. That's actually one of the points to this story is that most human things are absolutely incomprehensible cats.
They don't see nothing.
Yeah, they don't see obvious things right in front of them, like the ghost was trying to eat their face. Humans
They're
can't
very
see that. They just
ungrateful.
bumble through their life, staring at their picture boxes, going back and forth, and whatever that giant machine is, doing whatever. We could barely manage to keep them to feed us. So that's actually one of the points of the setting is that human stuff going to be incomprehensible to you, and you aren't going to read anything. It's humans are basically like Charlie Brown's grown parents. Wah, 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 wah. All right.
I spent my evening protecting the butcher's meat shipment from those noisy little burdens clamoring in the front room for the candy. And I managed to protect it all night. You would think that burden would be a little bit more grateful for my sacrifice all evening.
Well, my burden loves to play dress up way too much and was enjoying yesterday far more than I could stand. He didn't even recognize the little goblins and shapeshifters coming to the door begging for candy. So I had to stand at the door in front of him and meow at all of them to scare them away before they got into the house. And I tried to press my young squire into helping, but that darn squire, I can't keep track of her, and she was not awake and hiding under the couch most of the time. This is going on her permanent record.
So while you're having this conversation, which very shortly meanders back to figuring out where exactly the squire went to, it's kind of a default state. It is a very young kitten. So let's go around the table, and since we're already getting into trouble, let's get you your fate points so you have something to spend. So we're going to go very briefly. On the top right of your sheet, there's a number called refresh. Yours is 3, and that's how many fate points you start off with.
Mine.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hand these down. You got 2. And you got 2 also. There you go.
Can I have one for the squire?
No. The squire does not have its own character sheet. It is an aspect on yours.
Guys, gotta try.
All right. So while you guys are having this conversation, and it's in the evening because you guys all slept in late.
By our
Most of
standards
the-
or
by
human
your
standards?
even.
Okay.
So it's kind of well after dark at this point. Well, one of you smells something. Tell you what, everybody give me one of the 4 actions. We're going to call this an overcome because you're trying to overcome something stealth. So roll 4 dice. I've got an extra set here if somebody needs. And there's the bag of dice that you can pass
Yeah,
around.
get some of those.
So everybody can give me a roll and add your notice skill. And this is mostly just practice. So you do pluses and minus. So 3 blanks and a minus is a -1, and 1 minus 0 is 0. Keep in mind,
So
0
that's
is
a-
not automatically a failure.
And
Because
maybe-
0 is just
Zero
a
just
skill.
means it doesn't add or take away.
Yep. if you notice-
That's no change whatsoever.
right. So just go with your skill if you come out with a 0. Because if you notice on the ladder on your character sheet, the number goes like way down to -4. So I've seen somebody pass a test with a -3 roll because
Good. That's
their
what I
opponent
need.
went really bad.
If it does not smell like my squire, I probably have no clue.
Just make sure you know that's
And you know,
bonus.
while we're talking about this,
Is
might
it
be
a
a
little
good
more soup?
I'm not
chance
changing
to
anything,
slip in
just
the
checking
fact that you can actually invoke aspects that your opponent has. So, like if you would figure out the bad guy's trouble aspect, then you can invoke that to add +2 to his difficulty, or to give you bonuses against what you're trying to do against him, or maybe even go so far as offering up one of your own fate points to compel him to make a bad decision.
Can I use my stunt preternatural awareness?
Absolutely, that stunt would be very appropriate here. So, does anybody beat 2?
Oh yeah, wait a minute.
You
-3.
just you smell it, and before anybody else notices,
Yeah.
Sphinx's head and ears just kind of swivel like a radar dish locking in, and all of you see after her pointing it out, kind of some shuffling in the underbrush, and very shortly after that, you notice waddling down the road this gigantic rat, completely white with pink eyes. Now, keep in mind, this is not just a big rat. This is a cat-sized rat. Like this disgustingly, abhorrently large thing. This is like, imagine you shaved a capybara and painted them white.
God. So it's super cute.
Probably smaller than he.
And it's just wandering down the road. It's probably bigger than Sphinx.
Kill.
And it's just kind of wandering through the underbrush down the road past where you guys are going. It doesn't actually seem to even notice you.
Kill.
We track it.
The tracker.
We should kill it.
I may use my aspect, or one of my aspects, one of my troubles.
Oh, what is that?
Not as tough as I used to be.
Okay. And how's that apply here?
I was going to go try to fight with the cat.
Oh, and fail?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
well, we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Go kill him.
Let's go.
So you guys gonna
Let's
go
go
as a
kill it.
group and just accost this thing?
No, we'll follow it. figure out where it's going.
It is rather large. Figure out where it's going.
Yeah, if it's got
Maybe
friends,
there's more.
Maybe there's more.
we might need to track them
Maybe
down.
we just go introduce ourselves.
No, it's
Maybe we have an early dinner.
Does-
I may just stay.
It's getting
here and
away.
sleep.
Meow,
Are you
meow,
staying
meow,
or
meow,
going?
meow.
Let's go.
I will
Sorry.
howl for my squire and
Yeah.
take off.
Yes.
Leo has a
going.
bad
All right,
habit of
your
yowling at
squire's
random
like-
times.
Yes, sir.
I go.
All right. So you guys head off. So you're like protect
On
your-
its trail.
Okay.
Ah.
All right. Well, it's not too hard to find. It's just kind of bumbling along, and actually, and your thoughts of eating it are kind of turned a little bit because when you get closer, you hear it talking to itself. It's like muttering to itself, like it's got to be around here. Got to be around here. Where is it? Oh, no, that's not it. It's got to be. Maybe it's over here. And it's just like constantly talking to itself, muttering about looking for it. Occasionally, you'll hear the word shinies.
Doesn't sound very smart.
No, it does not.
It's not very smart, but it said shinies.
It is big and strong, and from the looks of it, it just ran into a bush. It can probably barely see.
Shiny
But,
spark.
but it's got a nose to compensate.
I'm surprised it hasn't smelled us yet.
Can I kind of
We do smell like
jump ahead of it and kind of jump out in front of it?
What?
I want to kind of bound around ahead of it and kind of jump in front of it and scare it.
All right. You know what? Give me a create advantage roll with your stealth. That'll be resisted with, it'll defend with its notice skill of -1. And I rolled a +2, so
Can I use cat burglar?
is that relevant?
Well, moving around in high places and rooftops and chimneys, and it's. Oh well.
Not quite.
All right.
Now, maybe if you're jumping down from a branch.
All right. Only 3.
3? Well, you are rolling against a 1, so you have succeeded with style. +3. It's +3. Yes. Oh, sorry, 3 higher, not 2 higher. Right. So you succeed. So you now have a situation aspect that belongs to you, and we're going to call that something simple like stealthy. And you get a free use of that. So you can use it once without spending a fate point. And we will write out the aspect on one of these cards and lay it out in play, and the box can get checked off when you use it. Every now and then when we change scenes, we'll clear some of those away, but that's I will keep track of those. So yeah, you're sneaking up and around on it. Does anybody else like to do something?
I'd like to evaluate him. I have a normal stunt called Psychopump that will let me know if this thing is ill or dying.
Yes, actually that's relevant. I'm trying to remember there is a special thing you have to do because that's a magic one, right? Or not?
It's a normal stunt.
Okay. Say which skill you're rolling.
Empathy,
Okay, yeah. Then that's actually very good.
and it's empathy +2 for that skill.
So go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
It's going to be
minus.
against a 2 difficulty.
1 minus. I have a 3 in empathy, and it's with +2, so I succeed with a 3,
All right.
4. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
That's bad.
well, that beats a 2. So you do succeed, and what you find out is that this thing is, it's fine. It is big and strong, and actually you discover that that's one of its aspects, big and strong, and you get a free use of it. But also, so it is plenty healthy, but mentally there's not much there. It's like, because normally if a creature is sapient, even humans that are barely sapient, you can tell that they're trying to think. This thing does not have much going on in the brain pan.
Ooh.
It's almost like the driver fell asleep.
I wonder if I could trick it.
All right, anybody else? We're out of turn, so
I'd like to inspect it and see if it could prove useful in some way.
Oh, it could prove very useful to me.
So I'd like to see if I've heard maybe anything about such a rat of this nature.
no, I will give you that for free. You've never heard of anything like this, especially not one this big. You guys have seen a lot of crazy stuff, but no, nothing quite like this. There are some older cats, you might be able to, like Jezebel, who runs the parliament, but she's probably.
So I haven't heard any in the lore or maybe murmurings.
Yeah, does your character have the lore skill? Yeah, then you definitely know. Yeah, this is unusual. The rats around here do not grow this big. Honestly, this place,
Is it
you know, it's not an agricultural town. There's not the food around to let rats get this big out in the woods.
Is it the ROUS?
It is an ROUS, but it's not the ROUS.
I need to be able to trick this thing so I can learn its true name.
Well, you could talk to it.
That's what I would like to do, actually.
All right. Okay. So anybody else?
So pay attention, Squire. We have to watch just in case they screw this up. And then when she's not looking in the right direction, I'll turn her around to face the rat. We will proceed to stand guard so these people don't get themselves killed.
All right. I think you have an active in this round, investigating the rat. I'm trying to. Did you have anything you want to do? All right. I'm just checking in. Okay.
I do.
All right.
It just in case depends on how it goes with him, and I might be able to incorporate my trouble and my aspect into this.
All right. So what are you trying to do?
Well, if it gets south with him, I'm gonna fight the cat.
Well, okay.
The
Yeah.
rat.
Well, we'll roll initiative and that'll happen.
But
Okay.
first, I want to talk to it.
Yeah, I was gonna wait and see what happened.
Okay. So that you're
Yeah.
just waiting.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't sure how it worked, but
Okay. So you currently are hidden. It cannot see you, and it's kind of bumbling in your direction. Close. You can just hear it get closer and running like.
I'm gonna
Need the
jump out in
shinies.
front of it.
Need the shinies. Okay. So do you want to do that? You see Jackie here going up to talk to it.
No,
You
I want to
don't-
jump out first.
You do not want that to happen. All right. So
Take control of us.
all right.
Hey,
So
I'm using my high concept here.
so what are you doing when you jump from stealth? Are you going
well,
to attack
I
it?
mean, as it comes up, I want to jump in front of it, and see if I can startle it. And, which is probably, and it's, what?
You
What are
succeed.
looking for?
And so you're just going to startle it and just jump out and go, what are you looking for?
Well, yes.
I mean,
Yeah, kind of, that we are Siamese. There's evil cats in that movie, jump
so
out.
you're just going to intimidate it, basically. All right.
Jump out.
Do you have the provoke skill? Because that's generally what
yeah.
this is. And I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll it to defend. And you have your stealth aspect. You can spin that if you want to add +2 to your roll.
Let's see. I got 4.
All right. And that's your total? Well, it has a 0. So you have succeeded with style. What that means is that you get an extra benefit. So if it involves an aspect, you get to get a free use of an aspect. So if you're like making, you get an extra bonus use on top of the one you already made. Or, in combat, you can maybe even reduce the amount of damage you do by 1 to put something else into play or whatever. So at this point, you do succeed. You jump out, you scare the hell out of it. Honestly, you probably scared the hell out of you too. And so this hairless cat jumps out. It shrieks. It hisses, and you say,
What are you looking for?
"Ah, the shiny! Where's the shiny? Don't eat me!"
What's shiny? I'll
And
let you
then
find the shiny.
and then its eyes go from pink to red, and it attacks.
It's times like these, the Burdens are so lucky to have hands to cover their face.
All right, so we don't do initiative. We don't roll initiative. It's based entirely on your skills.
Jackie immediately after he starts attacking, she just goes like with an actual front paw.
All right.
Paw face.
So
Yeah.
does so for physical combat, unless you have a stunt that says otherwise, we go off of notice. So give me a anybody have a 4 notice?
no.
And I'm going to choose to go last.
3 notice. All right. So give me your names.
Now it's on.
2 notice. 1 notice.
Here.
All right.
Me, I have a question also. I have
Okay.
this.
Your name?
My
Okay.
cat friends are so slow.
Okay. Next 2 or next. Sorry, 1. Sorry.
Longinus.
All right. Next.
I had one, but I also have this.
Okay, that's for a different game.
Oh,
Yeah, that's for actual
That's for
confluence.
Confluence. That's the one I'm running it for. Okay.
never.
So, and your name that you want me to write down here?
Strider.
Strider.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leo has
And you are, well, I've been calling you Jackie. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine. But I choose.
Jack.
I'm going to choose to go last
All right.
because
that's fine.
physical combat is extremely boring.
Okay.
We'll wake
And,
you up when it's done.
And Leo is last. It's hard for me not to call him Butters.
Butters.
He's happy that people can or other cats can restrain themselves.
All right.
Butters.
So the albino giant rat has a notice of -1. So he goes last. So Sphinx, you have the initiative here. What do? It looks like its eyes turn red, and it started baring its gigantic rat teeth, suitable for chewing through walls.
Find the nearest tree and
There are lots of trees. Okay, so
nearest tree and scurry up it to the first branch and kind of look down at it and
all right, so
hiss loudly.
this is just a simple movement. Okay, so you move up a tree. Is there anything else you want to do? Because generally you get one action and one movement. Movement is kind of abstracted into this vague concept called zones. So you're either close to somebody or you're in the next zone. So like we might call this room a zone, or in this case, the ground is one zone and up in the tree is a zone, kind of thing.
Well, no need for such theatrics.
All right,
hiss.
Meow-san.
So this thing is big and strong, you say?
It is. And technically, when you uncovered that aspect, you got a free. I did tell you got a free use of the the bad guy's big and strong aspect when you uncovered it, so that that is available to you should you want to use his size against him.
So you can move and attack?
Yeah, or you can take an action and you can do a move, or you could basically take an action to move and then move. So
I will take an action to move closer to it, but save my attack.
All right.
And try to threaten it to back down.
Okay, so this is going to be you're actually going to be trying to intimidate it.
Yes.
And this is going to be a provoke, which we're going to treat this as basically a attack on the mental track, because if you notice, your cats have 2 stress tracks, one for physical and one for mental. And by basically filling up their mental bar, you could basically force them to submit without taking physical damage. So it's going to be an attack either way. It's just in this case, you're going to be using the provoke skill instead of the fight skill.
Okay.
Did everybody follow that? Okay.
Vaguely.
Well, I have the stunts. I can make it hurt itself if I dodge away from it. That's why I was trying to set
Oh,
it
I
up
see.
to.
Well, then actually what you could do is you could simply go up and create an advantage, say trying to put yourself between the other cats to give you. So maybe go up and use your athletic ability to, make yourself a kind of a wall between you and the other cats.
Fair enough.
All right.
3.
3. That's more than enough. So you will get a.
You will not pass.
There you go. Here, you can write that down. You have one free use. You shall not. All right, Lady Karakal.
So, I've already won talent stuff.
You've been watching this for a few minutes.
Been watching
It
so
works.
I can invoke it at this point.
Yeah, if you have meet the time requirement, that one's special. So that means that for this fight, you can use investigate instead of fight because you've been watching it.
So have
We've
been observing this rat long enough.
Yes,
then we are invoking this.
Yes, this is your Sherlock Holmes fighting style here.
So I have observed this rat, found its weak point, and
so you're just gonna.
I'm going in.
You're just gonna murder it.
I'm going to murder it.
Okay. It's gonna roll defense.
3, 2.
And it's going to defend with its fight skill. So make it good.
5.
You beat it by 1. So you have inflicted 1 point of stress on it. Now, the way stress is counted, if you notice, there are boxes down below where it says physical stress, and there are numbers under them and mental stress. The number of points by which you beat the roll is how many stress you inflict. And each one of those boxes can hold that many stress, but you can only ever use one box. So this particular monster has a 1 and a 2 box. So he's going to fill his 1 box with that 1 stress. Now, if you hit him with another, he would have to put that 1 stress in his 2 box. Also, if you notice, there are things on the right called consequences. If you cannot absorb your stress in 1 box, you can absorb up to the amount that's listed there, 2 for mild, 4 for moderate, and 6 for severe. But when you fill those boxes, you actually take aspects in those boxes to represent that injury. So mild might be, ow. My head's been bruised, or mild concussion. Whereas 6, severe, you might say, my spine's broke. And those will need to be treated to make it less severe.
Not a trip to the vet.
Possibly. And those actually take multiple sessions to heal. So those go away those will last a long time. Also, at any point you decide, that's it, I'm out. I can't win this. Sorry, guys. You can at any point in time concede the fight. But when you do that, that means your character, you have a say in how your character ends the fight. So if the bad guy is trying to murder you and you go, oh, I've taken 2 consequences and I'm out of stress already, you can go, I will concede, and the GM will do 2 things. 1, he'll give you a fate point for every consequence you've taken. And 2, he now has to negotiate with you for the survival of your character and has to accept it. So he can go, okay, he's going to take you captive instead of murdering you. And then, you can carry the story on.
That means you get stuck in the little kitty carrier till the end of the game.
So it allows you to go, I'm definitely going to lose. Sorry, guys, I'm taking myself out of the fight while I can. And then you still have a say in how it ends. Because if everybody dies, the story's over. And that's kind of boring. All right. And that was Lady Caracal. And you have inflicted the first damage, first blood, as it were. Longinus. Sorry.
Longinus.
Right. L-A-W-N.
Even spell it L-A-W-N. When I'm stretched out in the summertime. All right. I'm going to use my ability to change size. I'm going to tower over this thing and see if my size can intimidate it and get it to back down.
All right. How much bigger are you going to try to be?
I think I'd like to grow 2 sizes.
All right. Unlike the Grinch's heart.
Right.
We will, that'll be a difficulty 4 shaping magic roll. And
I have +3 to shaping. Okay. Got it.
Rough.
Ooh, I didn't make it.
now, if you want to succeed at any point, you can succeed at a cost.
Right. Okay.
And unless there's a specific language in this, I am not obligated to be, well, I can't be brutal with it. I can't go, oh yes, your magic works, so it rips you in half. No, it doesn't work that way. I have guidance for what the cost you have to pay. So,
Warhammer 40K, where if you mess up a psychic roll, you're just
Right,
going to get
right.
torn. You're literally going to get torn in half. And
so
put
what will
inside out.
happen is that you will, if you succeed at cost, then there will be just not just bigger, but there will be something unnatural about the shape that you take.
So I grow bigger, but mainly my head gets bigger.
Or maybe
It might
you get bigger,
intimidate-
but your head doesn't.
That's just freaky.
So yeah, we can go with that.
Not crazy.
Don't let a human see you.
If it's possible to hear a cat laugh, I open the tree.
Oh, cats laugh all the time.
So I might have embarrassed myself in front of my
Right.
friends.
So you could decide to fail,
Mhm.
or you can decide to be effective but embarrassing.
Oh, I'll take the hit. Meow.
All right, so you just fail, or okay.
No. I'll go ahead and increase my
All right,
size.
so you grow from the size of a cat up to
A lot.
the size of a human,
That's
except your head is still cat-sized.
Did she grow tall enough that I could step off my branch and step onto her shoulders?
And for reference,
Out of the way just in time.
while you are larger,
Mm.
you basically count as having your claws basically count as having +4 weapons. So if you would hit this rat successfully, you are starting with 4 extra stress of damage because your claws are so much bigger than its. Now, admittedly, it's going to have +2 to its defense because it's so much smaller than you now.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay.
A little bit harder to hit.
But right, yeah, you are very much like puma sized or cougar sized now, with a very tiny head.
Yeah, which is why I keep missing because I'm trying to,
All right.
to scratch her and tell her. not
So
to
yeah,
shout.
you are in combat. You're a combat monster now. All right. Where were? Oh yes. So moving on.
That is what not to do, Squire.
Squire thinks that looks kind of badass. Says, do you know how to do that?
other than the head.
That's
Yes.
not my trick.
Oh, okay. All right. So that was Longinus Strider.
I'm going to go try to fight the cat too.
All right.
My aspect is they took my leg, but not my heart. And my trouble is I'm not as tough as I used to be.
Right. So when I go to attack you back, you can guarantee I'm invoking the crap out of those. Oh, I need to collect my 7 fate chips because I get a bunch to spend. why I like
So are you
layers.
kind of warning me that maybe I shouldn't do that?
That's fine.
No, you totally open.
No,
some
warning you
space.
that you need to stop telling the game master what your aspects are.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought I was supposed to tell you.
Well, no.
He's supposed to know them.
If he doesn't know them, he's not doing his job.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
Don't-
supposed to
don't
know.
remi-
There are a lot
remind
of
him of anything he could use
there are
against you.
35
Okay.
aspects of this table on your side of it.
Okay,
I may have
I thought I
written
was
them all.
supposed to tell you that. Okay.
Well, no, but that informs how you role play. And if you think it's something that earns you fate points,
Well, the way I read that is like he used to be a tough cat, but then he got his arm ripped off, and
That's exactly
he's not a
what I
tough
meant.
cat
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Okay, that's why I kind of combined the two.
I'm
Right.
imagining the old bum from the wedding singer. I used to be much stronger.
I guess. So what do I roll?
all right. So you're going to go in and fight it.
Yes.
All right. It's going to defend with its fight. Actually, it's going to defend with its athletics.
+1.
And I got a -1. So what's your total?
What am I adding to it?
You're adding the skill you're attacking with, which is probably fight.
+1. Okay, so I got a 2.
All right. It's countering with a 1, but I'm going to spend a fate chip and going to invoke your not as strong as you used to be and get +2 so that I now defend against it.
Can I use one too?
Absolutely. We can
I'm
get
going
the
to
crap
use
out of
they took my leg, but not my heart.
Oh, you're going to use your heart. Go for it. All right, you're now 1 up. And actually, this guy doesn't have a whole lot of stress and is a big old coward. So I'm trying. But you know what he is? He is big and strong. So I'm going to spend another one.
Okay. We roll again.
No,
Oh.
no,
He's
we're
one
just
up right
bidding
now.
until
Oh, we're
one of us
one up.
decides we win.
That was an extra one. So I'll go ahead and do I want to burn another one?
You have 6 other cats to help you here.
Yeah.
It's just one rat.
I'm not going to burn anymore. I just
Okay.
wanted to burn that
That's a
one
good effort.
since it was extra.
All right. Okay. Then we have Jackie.
Jackie stretches and just kind of. I guess I should do something, shouldn't I?
Probably, but I mean, maybe not.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna nap for a bit.
That's too easy.
It really is.
No. When we get to the boss battle, Jackie's just going to be like, I'm going to mind control everybody.
I'm
With
going
all
to-
of these fate chips.
I'm going to absolutely just be like,
All right.
hello.
Leo.
I don't have multitasking.
Leo is going to invoke the big and strong aspect as he's trying to run around behind the big rat and kind of confuse him and strike at his backside.
Good call. Go for it. That will give you +2 to the roll. Or actually a re-roll if you roll terribly.
Sweet.
Often it's good to wait until after you see what your dice are before you spend stuff.
I need that reroll.
That's a +1.
Yeah, it's a 3 on my fight.
Well, in that case, if you invoke it, that's 2.
Cool.
That makes it a 5.
yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
really good.
Well, let's see what it's got for its athletics. Holy crap.
-3.
That's going to be -1. So that's going to be a difference of 4. You've succeeded with style. So you inflict 4 stress, which I'll tell you right now, it does not have a 4 box or any consequences. You slaughter this thing. So tell me exactly how Leo destroys this giant rat.
Leo sadly destroys him by ripping off his tail and severing the hind legs, and he's crying all the while, just can't stop himself because he does that at times.
Butter's the beast.
That's so sad.
What emotion is causing you to cry? Can you describe?
Cries for no reason.
he is a sad
Absolutely no reason. But it might be because he looks like this.
That's exactly what it is.
I have a question. Does he have to stop and drink water more often to just keep
Rehydrate,
the tears?
yeah.
I feel like the tears really deplete.
All right. So, yeah, that is sure a big dead rat.
Jackie kind of just.
Killed it! Killed it!
I claim the head.
You guys,
I'm
you guys really should have waited for that. I could have mind controlled him.
gonna go paw open the eyes and.
They were open.
Are they still red?
Whenever it dies, though, you notice they fade from that really bright red back to the normal pink of an albino.
There was magic on that rat.
We don't know what the shiny was. You killed it.
I could have mind controlled it. You
What's
scared
muttering
it and
about a
caused
shiny?
combat.
Help.
You were sleeping, you lazy little thing.
I was about to come up and talk to it.
I don't have full control over my body. I'm kind of staggering around. My brain isn't big enough to control this giant body.
With all the grace of a dinosaur with a brain the size of an apple.
This,
Fall down until your body shrinks.
Or shrink
that is
yourself
what
down.
magic does to you.
You can turn it off.
Yeah, just turn it off. It's kind of starting to startle me a little bit.
But right now
really?
you're super powerful.
Does it startle you if I come up closer?
I know your true name. I will mind control the fuck out of you.
Careful, you might wake her up.
So you do not by default know their true names
Oh,
unless
well.
the character decides that they told you at some point.
Fair enough.
I mean, you might trick it out of them.
I can bless you if you get. I can actually bless you if you give me your true name as well.
Yeah, get right on that. Sounds like such a good idea.
Well, I can also just bless you without knowing your true name. I can do it with your common name, but then there's a little bit of a penalty for that.
If I pretend my true name is a sneeze, will you bless me?
Every time.
Every time. Because
We hope you enjoyed this Extra Life content. If you are interested in updates from Team WV Fox, follow us on Facebook. In addition to event updates and details, there are opportunities to win some excellent prizes. If you would like to support Max Pugh and WV Fox, please visit bit.ly/maxpewpew to make a tax-deductible donation today. All donors supporting my donation efforts will be announced at the end of every Extra Life episode on Max Pugh. This week, I'd like to thank the White family and our anonymous donors for their donation to Team WV Fox and Cincinnati Children's Hospital. I would also like to thank Free League for donating a copy of the Alien RPG 40th Anniversary Special Edition hardcover. Please look forward to the official Team WV Fox Marathon event. Music provided by Tabletop Audio. 10-minute ambiances for games and stories. Find out more at tabletopaudio.com.